some of them are still kicking and screaming in the Democrat Party. Boy, oh boy, are they mad. They're mad as H-E-double-L because they can't believe the Democrats would give in, despite the fact that, hey, I don't know, 46 million people are going to lose their SNAP benefits. You have the military not getting paid. You got the FAA. Not all the workers there at a time when you're going into the holiday season. I mean, it seems like you'd want to have the government back up and running, but not if you are one Ms. Sunny Hostin over at The View. The funny thing is, we talked about this yesterday. She was flipping out, freaking out. I mean, hyperventilating. Oh my gosh. I can't believe the Democrats did this. Well, now she brought John Fetterman on, and let's just say he's completely unfettered. Her, not so much. I want you guys to see John Fetterman taking down one of the View ladies. Not hard to do, but nonetheless, it's good, as they say, TV.
It was a horrific mistake. Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now, if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations, and a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states in those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue the shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills now. So for me, we're in the middle of this.
Senator, I got to ask you to hold up.
Oh, okay. I gotta run to a commercial, says Whoopi, just when he really is getting ready for the takedown. But he's, the advantage that he has is that he gets it. And I don't agree with him on everything, but he understands what the blue collar workers in Pennsylvania are up against. And I kind of look at him increasingly and wonder how he's going to continue to thrive as a Democrat, because the Democrat Party today that we're seeing is very, very different from, say, the Fettermans of the world. I mean, you compare and contrast Gavin Newsom, say, or Mamdani with John Fetterman, you're going to get two very, very different approaches, which is something that he, in fact, acknowledges. But you've got the media on the side of the Mamdamis, on the side of the Bernie Sanders, on the side of the communists, AOC, and Gavin Newsom out there in California, and it's becoming increasingly tricky, right, to be a moderate Democrat. You look at Jeanne Shaheen in New Hampshire, who had to vote for ending this shutdown, and she's taken all kinds of heat from these Dems that are like, how dare you, how dare you? And it's like, wait a second, are you guys losing sight of everything? Like, I know, Sonny, you're not, Whoopi, you guys aren't hurting for your next meal, but people that are on SNAP, it's a different thing. And so the Democrats have the power to end that, but they wouldn't choose to use it. Are you kidding me? Because they want to be political? I don't think so. Listen, they got the power. You got to deal the hand you're dealt. And these ladies on The View, I mean, they're just commentators, frankly. They don't have real stakes in the game. So you got to taking them with a grain of salt. But I mean, I'm watching Sunny yesterday, and she's like hyperventilating over this. She can't stand it. She can't take it. Take a peek.
Let's be clear. The Republicans run the House. The Republicans run the Senate. The Republicans run the White House. The Republicans run the Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned. This was a choice by Republicans to cut SNAP benefits. This was a choice by Republicans to cut ACA subsidies. This was a choice by the Republicans to gut the federal government and federal employment. Democrats had nothing to do with it. I want an opposition party. I think the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats let down the American people. And like you, Whoopi, I have absolutely no faith that the Republican Party will come to the negotiating table in good faith. You know, you do something like this, shame on you the first time. You do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. Shame on the Democrats for even believing that the Republicans will even vote on it. There's no guarantee in this New Deal that there's going to be a vote. There's no even commitment to have a vote. So the bottom line is the Democrats went into this after a blue wave out of the American people saying, we do want the opposition. We the working people want the Democratic Party to fight for them. New York City. And now they just caved and surrendered. I think Chuck Schumer, his days are over.
Okay, Chucky, you're losing your biggest base of support there. I mean, when you've lost the view, I don't know. You basically have left the party. I think they're sending you out to pasture, which is probably the right thing to do for a variety of reasons. I mean, I kind of agree with Sonny. Yeah, Chuck Schumer's out. But the sad thing is it's because the party's getting so wacky. Totally wacky. Meanwhile, the Whoopi was the same way on the show. Totally entitled. And by the way, incoherent. Like really incoherent.
I have no faith that they're going to negotiate and come back to the table. And I'm glad that folks, maybe because, again, we have seen you say this is going to happen and then it doesn't happen. Right. So surprise me and show me that this is really that people are going to get their money, that people are going to get the money that they are entitled to. It's not a gift. Right. They're entitled to this money when there's a shutdown. You're entitled to that money.
Yeah. Losing her way. And by the way, like we actually had to perform surgery on that edit. I'm turning into 60 Minutes. Making Whoopi Goldberg sound like she knows what she's talking about. That's like trying to make Kamala sound like she knows what she's talking about. I deserve an Emmy for that edit there. Anyway, she's trying to say, like, look, they're supposed to get these benefits. It's not right that they're being canceled, et cetera. And, we need to hold out and we need to fight and Look, the reality is we have a lot of things that we need to fix as a society, but the Democrats over and over and over again have proven that they have the wrong fix. They have the wrong way of going about all of these things. And as a result, you know what the country suffered? Guess what? It wasn't under Donald Trump that we had 9.6% inflation in consumer prices. Okay. That wasn't under Trump. You think back to the good days of 2019, right? 2019, when we actually had, ahead of COVID, we had the biggest growth in middle-class wages that we had ever seen, you guys, all right? Like that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And so when these people get out there and they try and claim that they have the recipe and they have the prescription, it's like, guys, you did it, all right? You already did it. Let's just take a look at what happened during the Biden and Kamala Harris years. Oh, there's a really good soundbite. I got to show you because Kamala Harris went on some podcast and she tried to say that, I really wanted to focus on the economy and this and that. She's still like, she can't live this down, the fact that she's so terribly lost. And so she went on, she started to blame the system and blamed I just cared about the economy, and it was Trump that was trying to play all these funny games and I just wouldn't engage in them. But she said she wasn't going to play 3-dimensional chess, and I guess the reality is she just got played. Take a peek.
I was aware of my opponent's strategy, and I wasn't about to fall prey or fall into those traps. And part of his strategy, and those around
Just remember, she could have been president. It's a really scary thought.
him was to try and take me off our game and message. And I wasn't about to be distracted by those flames that he was trying to throw to get me away from my highest priority, which is talking to people about the economy and their well-being in terms of their financial well-being.
Kamala, it was your economy. It was you and Joe that drove inflation through the roof with all your insane spending and projects to nowhere. I mean, this is why we're in a shutdown right now, because of the $1.5 billion that Nancy and Chuck decided to add on to healthcare that was temporary and was always set to expire right about now. It was your policy that led to a bad economy, lady.
And I understood the game that was being played. And I made a decision that I wasn't going to get played. And
oh dear.
Chess, not checkers. Got it.
Oh dear.
yeah, 3-dimensional chess. I'm telling you. You know.
Okay, honey, I'm sorry, but you got played, and you got played pretty grandly. Okay, but you just kind of, and I hate to use this word, but you suck at your job. You're a terrible politician. You're not that bright. You got a whole problem with the word salad. You laugh like a hyena. I mean, I'm just getting started. If I were a Democrat consultant, I'd be like whipping her into shape in no time. I'd say, enough with the laugh. Actually read and understand the economy. Speak with gravitas. And stop trying to be everything to everyone. Who the heck are you, Kamala Harris? We don't really know, now do we? I don't think she knows.